What I've learned through yoga is that I always have a choice. When I'm confronted with something hard or pain or triggered, I get to decide what direction I start to move in. Life is full of moving in a direction while trying to see where it is I'm headed. For the past few years, I have often been a stray trickle of water wanting to make it back to my bigness but drawn down old paths. The difference in therapy is seeing these side grooves I choose to meander on were not for me anymore. They were made by me, though. They weren't made by a society or a church or a spouse or a role. They were made by me. These grooves, or sometimes caverns, were worn down by my favorite ego thoughts, stories, what I told myself was true. I had learned these thoughts weren't true. I could see I had more to me than these lost trickle parts of me, but the thoughts still felt true. Even though I could see the river of me, I was so scared to turn my back on these little lost streams. If I didn't see them, take them, nobody would. They would be lost forever, in pain. The lost water of me gurgled, I'm small, stay small, then I'm safe. I'm controlled, stay controlled, then I'm blameless. I'm hurt, stay hurt, then I matter. I'm weak, stay weak, then I don't have to risk anything. I'm invisible, stay invisible, then at least they can't fully hurt you. I could see that I didn't have to gravitate towards these grooves in my mind, and yet they felt comfortable. They called to me like a mother who could hold me. 6 months ago, I saw that these thoughts, those streams, that mother, those stories, they weren't holding me. They were the very thing that made me feel the pain. Those parts of me were lost because I wandered towards them. If I didn't stop running down them, my river would keep growing smaller. The pain would win. I'd never make it to the ocean. So I started to see the grooves and caverns in a different way. I started to see the truth that I'm so much bigger than self-pity, so much bigger than fear, so much bigger than resentment, than emotional pain, than their words, than energy scarcity, than validation. I started to stay in the river. I could see my worn paths still. I was scared still. Finally, though, I could hear the ocean almost constantly. God and my intuition were bigger than that fear, that pain. Finally, I liked the rush of the river better. Little by little, I grew more honest with myself. I called out my bullshit. Meditation, prayer, movement, listening more than fighting, therapy. I still cried. I still longed for my old path. Then the other day, I saw a deep crack I haven't wanted to look at. A lifelong story that was painful. I let my deepest waters start to get sucked into it while pretending that I didn't feel it. But I couldn't pretend anymore. Because I stay in my river so often now, the water leaving me for the crack of that old story was impossible to ignore. I had to look. Getting sucked in felt so sweet at first in a twisted way. It said to me, see, you really are a burden to someone who loves you. You are not worth his time. You're small compared to his life. You don't matter, not really. In fact, you have carried every single one of these stories you have with your dad into your own marriage. Isn't that sad? Doesn't that hurt? Come crashing to me. I'll listen to your tears. I'll hold you. I felt the pain and the pride rising. I felt the gravity of this crack, this story pulling, and I didn't want to resist. As soon as I acted on the story instead of my true self, I heard the story say to me, see, you really are small. You really don't matter. Not even to your dad. And it felt good. But did it? I don't need him. He's not there. He doesn't really care about me. It will never change. Right? But wait, I'm closer to the ocean now. Even in this crack, where the water was roaring, I could hear the ocean calling. You are bigger than this story. My phone buzzed. I saw my dad calling. I could decide to not answer and to keep growing my evidence for this story that hurt me, to keep letting my water go into this open crack. But I could smell the salt from the waves. I could hear freedom in the gulls flying through spraying foam over the ocean. There's another story here, it called. I thought about how much I love my dad. I questioned the thought that he doesn't care. I knew when I answered the phone, if I answered, I'd hear some of his same stress and stories that I had internalized, that I had let hurt me. But I also knew that's not really him. That's just one part of him, a stream that comforts him, and that part, it has nothing to do with me. I'm bigger than all of his stories and all of mine. So is my dad. He has a river. It leads to the same ocean I see from my river. I answered the phone. Right away, I heard some of those same stories. I calmed my water. I breathed in. I heard pause. Listen better. Still yourself. There it is. The call of the ocean, of the bigger story of freedom. It said, he's right. You don't know all of his pain. But this has nothing to do with you. This is not your dad. It's one part of him. You love him. And then I remembered again, there is always a choice. The deepest crack is the deepest pain. Choosing to get lost in it is choosing to stay small and hidden and hurt. The river, though, it flows like freedom. It has huge rapids, but they always look and feel scarier than they are. The rapids are still just water, just me. I always come out on the other side. I said to my dad that I love him, that he was amazing, that nobody could do it like him. We ended the phone call, my heart still beating a little quickly. I'm still in the crack right now, but I'm also in the river. I'm pulling my waters back because I can. I'm being honest about the pain, but I'm also being honest about the ocean. Every time I do, the choice gets louder. Where do you want to go? Dried up pain or vast freedom? I see myself in 10 years. I'm freer. I talk kinder to myself. I have compassion for myself and others. I'm bigger, more powerful. I'm confident. I let go easily. I trust God, full stop. I'm rushing there now.